Right, okay, so Miss Fallacy.
Do call me Fanny, Natty darling.
Yeah, so you've quoted Freud, Krafft-Ebing and Fleiss, and of course in 1910, as far back as that, 100 years ago, Dr. Magnus Hirschfeld also argued in Berlin, out of all places. Around the time of Hitler, you know, Hitler.
1910, I don't think so, darling.
Yes, well, he was around in that period. Even though he wasn't...
still in Vienna at that time.
Yes, but...
with Sigmund Freud.
Yes, but the argument there is that the psychological construct which reflect gender role orientation decide your sexuality. What do you mean by that?
I think it means that people are, it's nurture over nature. People are forced into roles by society rather than adopting their true nature. Yeah,
okay. And of course you've looked at transsexuality and the various names that transsexual males and females give to each other, and the way they behave. And it's all about in the mind. You've actually, that's the conclusion you draw. It's all in the mind.
Yes, darling. It's all forced onto one.
Yeah. And you've looked at homosexual sheep. I didn't even know there was any homosexual sheep. Are there any homosexual sheep?
Oh yes, homosexuality is quite prevalent amongst animals and sheep in particular. But then again, they are a bit easier to study. You don't have to go racing around the jungle or anything like that. There they are, just roaming around aimlessly in fields, and you can just go up to them and say, "Hello, Mr. Sheep, how are you feeling today?" And he will go, "Yeah, not too bad, thank you."
Well, this was, of course, conducted by the US Department of Agriculture and Oregon State University.
Yes, very reputable organisations have shown that they are homosexuals, probably caused by all that shagging by those shepherds.
Yes, I'm very surprised when I read that, I must admit. And you've also looked at the physiological makeup in men and women, in the sense that in both men and women, relics of their stifled sex remain.
That's right, Natty darling. There are vestigial organs left over.
Women have the clitoris as a kind of symbolic penis.
That's right.
And men have breasts, the mammary glands, and the nipples.
That's correct, Natty darling, yes. Yeah.
And of course, the study looking at women in particular at Northwestern University in America concluded that women in particular find women just as attractive as men sexually. But they do choose men in most cases, not for sexual arousal, but for other reasons.
That's right, Natty darling. I think you'll find that us women are the fairer sex, as we like to be described, and we are more attractive, and therefore we do attract ourselves as well as obviously men find us attractive.
Yes, and you've also looked at the behaviour of rugby players and
well, yes,
football players.
Homoeroticism.
Yes.
That is quite clear in some sports, with rugby, where you find these men sticking their heads up each other's bum. Yes. They are clearly enjoying themselves.
And they seem to be feeling each other's genitalia.
Well, they do all sorts of things in those scrums.
And footballers kissing each other.
Well, absolutely. Run around cuddling each other.
Yes.
They call it male bonding, but you can see it's really a form of love for each other, which they just don't like to admit. Yes. To be a sexual nature. Yes.
So you say that you can be a man when you want to be and a woman when you want to be. What do you mean by that?
I do have a masculine side.
Yes.
I can be quite butch, Natty darling. I know you find it hard to believe that I could be a butch man, but I can when I wish to be.
Yes.
You should see me when I'm playing football.
Yes. And of course you've quoted...
Norman Hunter of the ladies' team.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, I might pay a visit sometime. Ken Livingstone recently and Sharon Stone have both espoused their bisexual sides.
Yes, that's true. You see, two artistic types, but very honest and straightforward people who will come and tell you. You see, they won't suppress their nature. They will tell you that it really exists.
What would the evangelicals say? Because of course they don't like.
No, they don't. Well, the evangelicals are a very repressed lot. They of course, they say that this doesn't go and this doesn't go and only this goes. And of course, they would say under St. Paul's teachings that only a husband, male and female, man and wife, are allowed to do this sort of thing, and this of course represents a penis which you assure me is about the same size as yours, and the vagina, and this is all that is allowed between a male and a female. This form of love.
Of course, the word fanny means arse in American lingo,
yes,
which
exactly.
could explain that could be an arse.
That's what's so common in the United States now.
Well, you think there's too many gays in America?
Absolutely. Well, not too many, darling. There can't be enough gays. I do believe they are a rather bunch of sweeties, the gays.
Oh, okay.
And so creative as well.
Yes.
All our best work is done by gays.
Does that explain why there's so many homosexuals in the arts?
Absolutely, yes, darling.
Yes. And what about gays in Islam? I mean, the Iranian president said recently there are no gays in Islam and none in Iran at all.
Oh dear, I do think he's protesting just a little too much. It's obvious to anyone. All those men walking about in skirts and those young Arab boys, they sell themselves. I mean, look at Andre Gide, who has lived in, I think, Algeria or Morocco, and he rented the little boys there, all those little Muslim boys, because they love it, and they just...
So basically, I mean, there's basically millions of rich Arabs that come over to Europe, some dressed as women, etc., etc., and some are women, of course. But
it's difficult to tell with some of them, isn't it, when they wear those tents?
So you think they're basically going... A lot of them are homosexuals secretly?
They're obviously escaping the repressive sexual society within which they live to fulfil their dreams, and who knows?
Well, they'll chop their bits off,
well,
won't
they do, don't they? Yes, there's horrible circumcision, especially poor young girls. Terrible thing to do to them, terrible mutilation, cause them a great deal of suffering to many of them as well.
Yes, yes. Of course, men get circumcised.
Men get circumcised.
I can never understand that.
Well, I don't know. I don't understand it myself, darling. I think they just... a means of inflicting pain and suffering on some poor young boy to prove his manhood.
When you fillet a man, do you prefer it circumcised or not circumcised?
Oh, I like the cover, a little bit of cover on there.
No, so you like it natural?
Yes, I'm natural. That's me, completely natural.
Oh, okay.
As you can tell, Natty, darling, with my natural hair. And
yes, of course. Yes, very fetching, very sexy.
Yes, Natty. Yes.
Turning me on.
Oh, you calling me sexy? Oh, Natty, made my day. You cheeky little boy.
What would Alf Garnett say to you? Because of course. He hates gay sex, and he thinks an arse is for exit only.
Yes, well, I've gone a bit of a bigot. You have to admit there, Natty, darling. He'd have a limited outlook on humanity.
Yeah, okay. Right, and you, of course, you believe in these subconscious denying their urges, which, of course, affects your psychological makeup. And you also believe that there's a line in your book where you said, I've often fancied starting World War III, but when I think of them lovely men in uniforms, I think, why kill them when you can have sex with them? It's far more fun. It's the old adage, make love, not war.
Absolutely, Natty, darling, yes. I just like to see men walking around in their smart uniforms. They look so lovely. I don't want to see them going off and shooting each other.
Yes.
I'd be much happier, like Marlene Dietrich.
Yeah.
Just shagging all those lovely soldiers.
You'd rather a man shot in you rather than in them.
Absolutely. Oh, you witty little thing. Natty, you're such a wit, such a one.
Yes, such a walk.
One of them as well, possibly.
Yes. Yeah, so you've got a Scotsman in a kilt there.
I have got this lovely Scotsman here in his fancy dress.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there a reason why Scotsmen wear kilts and like a sporran?
Well, it's a very old, traditional...
There are a lot of homosexuals in Scotland.
Yes, probably, it dates from pre-Christian times when they walked around like that in their dresses. They're
very fetching, yeah?
Yes, a little more honest, quite fetching, but
maybe they are being their true selves.
Yes, a bit boring.
Yeah. Maybe they have overtaken your thinking by hundreds of years.
They may have done, yes.
So what's your message to the world before you end this show?
My message to the world is... we must all come together. We must admit to our sexuality. It's up to you, the people out there, to admit that you have two sides to your sexuality. We're all bisexual. We must admit to this, and the world will be a better place. You must join in my campaign to make the world bisexual and happy. I do hope that I can compare with the works of Nat Nollid. I do really wish that I could be an author of that status. So bye-bye, darlings. Bye bye to you all, and don't forget to admit to your sexuality.